Hey there, and welcome to Back to the Future Part 2 1989 Movie Review. And guys, the budget of this film $40 million. Insane amount of money to make a film, but everyone knows how good the second film was because, I don't know, it just is to me. Probably just my opinion, but I really love Part 2 out of the three. I found the imagination for the future was just insane and awesome, and I really wanted that to be our future. Either way, in the box office, it made $335.9 million US, a crazy amount of money to make. They definitely made back their money. Good job. Either way, the directors again are Robert Zemeckis and Steven Spielberg. We all know what films they have made. Fantastic films. The actors in this film, Michael J. Fox reprises his role as Marty McFly, and he also does an older Marty, and he plays his daughter in this, and his son. Go figure. Either way, Christopher Lloyd he reprises Doc Brown. Leah Thompson reprises the role of Lorraine Bain. Thomas F. Wilson he reprises Biff, but plays Griff as well. Elizabeth Shue takes the role of Jennifer Parker in part 2 and 3, and they kind of redid the film there at the end and the beginning for part 2 kind of thing, where it kind of continues over with Elizabeth Shue. I do prefer Elizabeth Shue, though, over the other one. I do forget her name, and I apologize, guys, for that. James Tolkien is also in this again, reprises the role of Mr. Strickland, who is the principal. Billy Zane, again, he reprises the role of Match, which is Biff's henchman. I love him in this film. He really puts on a great performance in this one. He doesn't say much and he doesn't do much, but the scenes that he is in, I swear he steals them. Now, here's the weird thing, guys. Crispin Glover is kind of in this film, and Jeffrey Weissman also plays George McFly in this film, and I will get to that, guys. All right. The music score again is done perfectly by Alan Silvestri. I love his work. I think he's a brilliant composer for music. Of course, everyone knows the overview, but I will still get through that. Marty McFly, he travels to the future with the help of Dr. Emmett Brown and poses as his own son to prevent his son's imprisonment. Now, however, all his efforts turn futile as the future changes the present. And whoever has seen this film before knows exactly what they're talking about. The older Biff ends up going into the past and helps himself out to make him a rich man in the future. And when Marty goes back to the future, or the present, or the past, or whatever, it's all changed up because of this. So here's a couple of fun facts again for you guys. You know the hot tub scene in this film where Biff's in the hot tub and Marty's talking with him, and he's watching a film. I forget the name of the film, but it's a classic Eastwood Western that he's watching. I think it's The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. I'm not too sure. Either way, in that scene of the Western, Clint Eastwood, he's wearing like a wood stove oven casing for a chest plate type thing. And when he gets shot by the guy, it bounces off the metal. And Marty ends up doing the exact same thing in part 3. Also, in this film, you got Jason Lee as one of Griff's henchmen. And if you guys don't know who Jason Lee is, he did play a Bruce Lee in the Dragon, the Bruce Lee story film. And I really enjoyed that film. I thought that was a pretty good one. I don't know if anybody else likes that one or not, but I know I do. And he also did a Jungle Book film in the past, which wasn't all that great, but it's Jungle Book, guys. He did a Disney film. He was starting to get his name out there, and then he kind of disappeared. Either way, another funny fun fact in this to me was Marty playing drag, he dressing in drag and acting like his sister. I think he actually wanted to play his daughter because they couldn't find an actor that would have looked similar to him as a female. So he jumped into the role and decided to go drag and dress like a girl and play his daughter. So I thought that was pretty funny. Also, Flea again from the Red Hot Chili Peppers. He's in this as Needles. Now, those are the quick little fun facts. Now, here's some interesting and just three more, and then I'll continue on here. The first one is, did you guys know Elijah Wood, sorry, is in this film? You know, Frodo from Lord of the Rings and the boy from The Good Son, which is a fantastic movie if you haven't seen that. Either way, he plays one of the young boys at the diner. He's trying to play the arcade machine, and they said, you got to use your hands. It's like a kid's toy. Well, he's one of the young boys there, and I always thought that was pretty cool. The second to last fun fact I have here, guys, is about Crispin Glover. Now, apparently, Crispin wanted more money, or was it difficult behavior? Now, depending on who you're talking to, Glover or Zemeckis, it depends, because on Crispin, Crispin says it was all about the money, and Zemeckis says it was difficult behavior. Either way, Crispin was upset at the fact that even though he was not in Part 2 and Part 3 of Back to the Future, they still used old shots from Part 1, and they used face molds on Jeffrey Weissman, who is the brother to Marty in the films. And they stuck him in the background to kind of fool the audience, which they fooled me. I didn't really know this until a few months back, guys. So, yeah. He ended up, they put the Crispin Glover mold on Jeffrey Weissman's face, and they didn't get any rights from that from Crispin Glover, so he ended up suing Zemeckis, and he won. So after that, the law came out where it prevented such a thing to ever happen again in a film. They always have to get the rights now from somebody. Now the third and final fun fact, guys, is about Elizabeth Shue, and this is a kind of a sad fun fact. It's, I guess, a sad fact. Elizabeth Shue, she was cast as Jennifer, and all the closing shots of Back to the Future were reshot for the beginning of the second part, the beginning of Back to the Future, Part 2. And Claudia Wells, who is the first Jennifer, she was unable to reprise her role, sadly, because her mother had come down with, diagnosed with cancer. And I'm sorry about the lighting again, guys. It's horrible. And I'm really looking into getting better lighting in here. Now, what I liked about this film, guys, is basically everything from start to finish. It's a fantastic film, and in my opinion, it's the best out of the trilogy. I love the future aspect. I think it's amazing. The flying cars, the hoverboards, and all that, I thought was fantastically done. I always thought maybe that would be the way of our future. I also love the coat that self-dries and the shoes that self-lace. I always thought that was kind of cool. And I kind of like the diner situation too, where you kind of ask the screen. It's almost similar to that because we got a touch screens and stuff now, but it's very similar to that, I find. And Jaws 19 would have been kind of cool, eh, guys? Even though it kind of fell apart after 4, but a holographic Jaws or a really cool 3D Jaws film today, or, would be pretty cool. Either way, in my opinion, overall, I think this film is a masterpiece, guys. I just enjoy it. I really do, for what it is. Don't try to overthink it again, because it's, it has some weird aspects and nobody really knows the rules of time travel. So it is, to me, like I said, a masterpiece. And would I recommend it? Again, I'm sure a lot of you own this film, own the trilogy sets or whatever, or seen this film many times, 100 times, you know what I mean. But if you are one of the few that have not ever seen Back to the Future Part 2, I say stop what you're doing today, find anywhere where you can get Back to the Future Part 2, watch that film, if it interests you, if it's up your alley type thing, if you're into that type of thing. And even if you aren't, just try to give it a whirl, see if you'll like it. It is a really fun watch, and you won't be disappointed, guys. That's all I can say about that. Now, I do appreciate your time, guys. This will be the end of the review here. Thank you all for watching. There will be a trailer at the end of this video. I hope you guys enjoy that. You all take care. Ciao.
Do you remember the future? You've got to come back with me. Where? Back to the future. Are we back? We're back. What do you mean we're in the future? October 21st, 2050.
Marty, we're gonna be able to see our wedding.
Wow. Future. I gotta check this out, Doc.
Look what happened to your son.
He's a complete wimp.
Don't talk to anyone. You've been looking. Don't touch anything.
I need to borrow your hoverboard.
And try not to look at anything. I didn't invent the time machine to win at gambling.
I can't lose.
I invented the time machine to travel through time.
Hey, Doc, I'm all for that. What's wrong with making a few bucks on the side?
Now, the time continuum has been disrupted, creating an alternate 1985. There have been a few changes.
It's like we're in hell or something.
No, it's still Valley, although I can't imagine hell being much worse. But they'll all be back. Eat less slackers!
Biff?
Hello? Hello, anybody home?
Why it can't be you? You're so big.
Michael J. Fox. Christopher Lloyd. Michael J. Fox.
Well, like a couple of teenagers, you know?
And Michael J. Fox.
Mom, is that you?
Steven Spielberg presents a Robert Zemeckis film, Back to the Future, Part 2.